Hey guys, welcome in tonight, and Happy New Year to all of you. I hope 2026 is treating you right so far. Judging from the amount of fireworks my neighbors have been firing off all week, apparently New Year's Eve is a week-long affair, up to and including tonight, so happy January 3rd to all those that celebrate. Oh wow, we've already started off with a bang here. Tech Mage gifting people memberships. Thanks a lot, I appreciate it. And good to see you, as always, of course. Thanks, Tech Mage. I apologize if I sound a bit stuffed up. The answer is I am a bit stuffed up. I was stuffed up on stream like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and honestly at this point I can't tell if this is the same illness that I never really got over, or if this is a new thing. But either way, I apologize if I sound a little rough. But other than the voice and the nose being stuffed up, I feel fine. So, the show must go on. It's not like I'm killing myself to be here tonight. I just sound weird. But I see we've got some, we've got some regulars in here. Tech Mage, Josh, good to see you as always, and some new people in here too. Let's see, who do we have? Nostalgic Meta, Fireman, Gear Gamer Jonesy, Shady. Thanks for being here, everybody. Happy to see both old and new here. Thanks for coming in. Josh, you have extremely exciting news. Well, feel free to share. And while you're doing that, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, when we last left off, we got up to star number 5. We beat Yaridovich by the skin of our teeth. This is our dream team here. Oh hey Josh, you got married! Congratulations, my friend, that's great. That is a very good reason to not make the stream, so you get a pass. But that's great. Congratulations. Was it like on Christmas, or was it just nearby? Adjacent. Christmas adjacent. Let's see, did we do shopping last time? Yes, I think we did, because we've got a full house here. So I think we're ready to just go right on to Area 6 here. Wow, a lot of people here in chat tonight. Glad you're all here. Do we want to buy anything? No, we're pretty broke now. Yeah, okay. December 27th. Okay. But no, that's great. I have a guy I work with who he got married in that week between December and or between Christmas and New Year's. And he has 4 kids, and all of them were born within like, I mean, in different years, but they were born within like a week of each other. So they celebrate like 4 different birthdays and their anniversary all within the span of a week. Okay, here you've got 3 rooms. I do have this memorized. This is the 3rd area here. You can't do this one until you beat the other 2. This is the 2nd one. And here's the... I'd rather do the first one first. Oh yeah, we never changed the battle music from this, but no, that's cool. Yeah, and this happens when you jump in here. I'm working on that, but for now, just promise me you won't jump in here. Alright, 4 dogs and a spider. The name of my next band. But yeah, congrats Josh, I hope everything works out for you guys. Dreams, I see you're in here too. Thanks for coming. Yeah, I generally do try to keep up with chat, but chat seems to be popping off tonight, so I'm going to do my best. I know ultimately you guys are kind of here to see me play this, so I want to make sure I am actually playing. Yeah, when I was playtesting this Nostalgic Meta, I noticed this issue several times, and I've tried to fix it a number of times. It's kind of hard to explain how RAM works in Super Mario RPG, but I've tried a few different things to make this room work, and it just hasn't yet. But my next plan is to change a couple of the enemy sprites that are in here, so we'll see how that looks. The problem is, I want it to look good graphically, and not show graphical errors, but at the same time, I don't want like 4 of the 5 sprites in this room to be the dogs. Jonesy, New Year's was rough. Well, that's not good to hear. Was it fireworks? Was it neighbors launching fireworks? I will say that was one of the nice parts of getting married, is my wife and I mean, we're one of those people who, we didn't start living together until after we got married. And that was really nice, because then we went down from paying for 2 different houses to 1. The Pit of 100 Trials is very buggy. Well, buggy like how exactly? I know there was an issue where the prizes that you got every 10 floors didn't actually... Oh yeah, you just said that. The items didn't actually end up in your inventory. That should have been fixed. I released a patch like 12 hours after the first patch. That should have addressed that. I'm not sure if that's the patch you're playing on, though. Let's see, there was that. Family drama you'd rather not talk about? Okay, fair enough. There was that. Apparently, a couple of people have told me some of the enemies in the pit you can sneak past. Like, you can go through the pipe without even fighting the enemy first. So, yeah, that's something I need to figure out, and I think I can. Oh, hey, it's a technically new enemy, a very angry wiggler. Do I have any tips for ROM hacking? Well, first of all, have you downloaded Lazy Shell? Are you using Lazy Shell to do your ROM hacking? That's like tip number 1 right there. But in general, I would say, if you want to get started with ROM hacking this game, you should do what a lot of people do, and just do like a battle hack, where you change enemy stats, ally stats, maybe change around some weapons and redo them if you're feeling spicy, that kind of thing, just to kind of get your feet wet into it. Because levels and like events where where sprites are moving around on screen, that's a whole different beast. So start small, really, is probably the best advice I could give you. Dreams, Happy New Year's. Thanks for making 2025 happier for me with your streams. Aw, thank you. I'm glad I can make a difference in your life. Be a source of joy. Did I make this ROM hack? Yes, I did in fact make this ROM hack. What abilities did I give this guy again? I forgot. Apparently weak ones. Josh, you rent a room at a family member's house. She rents a room for herself and her son at her friend's house. Okay. Well, depending on how much rent your family's charging you, it could be nice to go down to 1 house instead of 2. But you get a son out of the deal, a stepson out of the deal. That's a nice 2-for-1 special. But yeah, Compact Jolt, I meant it. If you or anybody else can make a good wart sprite, I would love to include that in here somewhere. And I'm sure I could. I'd probably just replace the boss at the bottom of the pit of 100 nightmares with it. Nice. There's our frog coin for beating the rare enemy. Let's make sure we're healed up here. We did level up, which is handy. There's one more that spawns incorrect enemies upon touching. Do you remember which one that is? Because that does happen sometimes. But it depends, because I know there are a handful of enemies where it'll be something like the gecko is the sprite on screen, for example, but when you get into the battle, it's not the gecko, it's like these types of enemies, but they're still from around the same area. Like, that's deliberate. But if it's like, you see the gecko on screen and it takes you to a battle with Goombas, that's an issue. This is the first... Have I modded other games? I have looked into modding other games, but I've never completed anything from other games. I have looked into A Link to the Past. I tried making an overworld, but it did not pan out. But this was ages ago, probably like 15 years ago or something like that, there was this program called Hyrule Magic that you use to edit A Link to the Past, and it was incredibly buggy. Like, I made an overworld, like 3 areas of an overworld, and the thing would just crash. Like, I'd open it up and it would just crash. So I kind of gave up on it. I'm not sure I really had an interesting idea for a hack anyway. I also dabbled in editing Fire Emblem for the Game Boy Advance, Fire Emblem 7. I got like maybe 18 or 19 chapters into a hack of that, but upon playing it I was just kind of like, I don't know about this one. I don't think this is very good, and just didn't stick with it. I think he's weak to thunder. That sounds like a thing that I would remember. Nostalgic, this is the first ROM hack of this game you've beaten. Yeah, Armageddon is wicked hard. Of course, I haven't played the more recent versions. I played like version 1 or 2 back in the day when it came out, and I remember it being super hard. Yeah, Josh, you haven't seen him since your wedding day? No. Yeah, I remember my wedding day as being, I don't know, I wasn't thrilled about my wedding day. Like, I love my wife, I'm glad that I married her, but the actual, like, day of our wedding, I wasn't super thrilled about, because the reality is your wedding day is for everybody but you. Like, it's all your friends and your family want to see you. They all want to participate in the excitement and be with you. And it's not really about you guys. It wasn't until the ceremony was over and we got to leave that my wife and I were like, okay, now it's about time to focus on us. Floor 80, was that of the Pit of 100 Trials or the Pit of 100 Nightmares? Am I ever going to use Mario or Toadstool? I don't know, honestly. I mean, one of the major draws of this is you don't have to have Mario on your team, so it almost seems like I shouldn't have Mario on my team, just because I can. But I don't know, we'll see. Super Jump is also really good. And Toadstool, I'm sure she'll be on my team at some point. She is also very good. Do we have a froggy drink? No, no froggy drink. Just pure waters for clones. Yeah, Fireman. I might get back into Fire Emblem ROM hacking at some point, but I don't know. I've also been hacking this game for like over 10 years, so I'm kind of decent at it. It's intimidating to learn an entire new game. So we'll see. Ow. Oh, you're tough. How am I doing, Dreams? I'm doing well. I'm not thrilled at the prospect of having to go back to work on Monday, but hey, holidays can't last forever, right? But other than that, I'm good. Besides, you know, being a bit stuffed up, like I said earlier in the stream. But I mostly feel fine. Yeah, Josh, okay, that's the way to do it, Josh. Small ceremony, have like 2 people there, and that's it. I love it. I've wanted to try playing some more Fire Emblem ROM hacks. I haven't really played any since The Last Promise. That's really the only one I've played. But I've heard they're really good nowadays. I just haven't had a chance to check any of them out. Alright, Bowser. I guess we'll keep ourselves here, healed here. Yeah, Fireman. Funny story, tabletop RPGs. So back when I was in college, I had a roommate who was super into like board games, card games, that sort of thing. he'd bring home a new one practically every day and have us all try it out. He'd invite some people over, you know. And I enjoy playing those games. I just don't excuse me. I just don't have a lot of experience with them. So there's usually a learning curve, but he'd bring home ones that even he hasn't played before. So we'd all be learning them together, and for whatever reason, when it comes to board games and card games, I have incredible beginner's luck. Like, I would win every time we'd play them, and it drove him absolutely insane. Let's just keep it simple. Pick the biggest boost. Okay, let's see here. Healing is good. Yeah, there's something to be said for basing your team around which clones you want Balom to eat, I guess. Oh man. Timing is hard, guys. Yeah, I'm nervous about Fire Emblem ROM hacks for that very reason. I tend to play those games in general pretty slow, and I think a lot of ROM hacks kind of base it all around, oh yeah, you've been playing Fire Emblem for years, right? So you should be able to take down this guy with lunatic-style stats. Stop kissing Gino. Hey Miguel, thanks for coming in. I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well too. Yeah, I have a backlog of my own, Fireman. I put a lot of games on the back burner specifically so I could make hacks. You're welcome. Hey Matt, thanks for coming in. Happy new-ish year to you. Dreams, you got 3 houses? 3 houses was a fun one. I liked it. It feels a little less traditional than most Fire Emblems do, but I don't know. For whatever reason, it just really worked for me. I liked that one a lot. Am I using Culex or Smithy for the Pit of 100 Nightmares? For the Pit of 100 Nightmares, neither one. There's a boss at the bottom of the Pit of 100 Nightmares that's not found anywhere else in the game. Hey Zap, thanks for coming in. If we all started playing at the same time, then we all had beginner's luck? But you're missing the point. I won. You made it so bad mushrooms can be used in the overworld? Gonna see what happens? Not to put a damper on your plans, but I'm guessing the answer will be nothing. You can't have a status effect take effect outside a battle. Can Carney Kiss not be blocked? Correct, it cannot be blocked. Actually, I think there are 2 versions of Carney Kiss. There's one you can block and one you can't. The ants use the one you can't. Poke Emblem. Yeah, I want to try that one out for sure. Poke Emblem and Super Mario Mon are pretty high up on my list of hacks I want to try. I'll probably do Super Mario Mon next. Once we finish this hack, I'll go back to the Waluigi hack that we were in the middle of, and then after that, I'll probably do Super Mario Mon. I'm not very good at Pokemon games, all things considered, but hey, I think it'll still be fun. As long as they didn't, like, super overtune the difficulty or something like that. Hey Tech, good to see you again. Thanks for coming in. Ah, you decided to try out Super Koopa RPG? Well good. Glad you like it. Of the hacks that I've made, Super Koopa is still the one I'm the most proud of, frankly. I really like that one. What other enemy uses Carny Kiss? There are a few. I know the Chomps do. I don't remember if these Chomps do, but the normal Chomps do. Let's see, the snakes that Cloaker and Domino take over, join with, whatever it is they're doing. Others. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm sure there are others. It has a streamer mode to simplify some things? Oh, that's interesting. They took streaming into account. Fascinating. Yeah, Arkin, one of the streamers you watch, is playing it at the moment, and it seems pretty balanced. That's good. Okay. So there's hope. I like playing ROM hacks on stream, but also if the hack is so frustrating that I die repeatedly, well, nobody wants to watch that. Well, maybe some people want to watch that. To each their own. Yeah, Tech, that's a bug that I've heard about, that I'm familiar with. Believe it or not, I am working on a patch for Super Koopa RPG that's been like months in the making. I just haven't gotten around to finishing my latest playthrough of it yet. But yeah, that was one of the first things on the list, was removing that clone of Red in the hallway. Speaking of Cloaker and Domino, what happens if you hypothetically defeat them both at the same time? I believe this is Smilax, so let me make sure I've got what I need here. I think it might be time to put Toadstool in. Put me in, coach. We'll be those people. We'll give Toadstool the true form pin so we don't get pedal blasted. Okay, Cloaker and Domino. I forget which one, but one of them is listed first in the formation order. I think it's Cloaker that's listed first, so Cloaker will die first, even if both run out of HP at the same time. So I guess Domino is kind of the default one that you go to. I could have those reversed, though, so don't quote me on that, but I know it's one of the two. Isaiah, thanks for coming in. Have I played A Plumber for All Seasons? I have not played that one, but I did see it run at the last GDQ, and it looked like a lot of fun. And it looked like something that someone of my skill level can handle. So I might play that one on stream at some point too. Okay, we gave her the true form pin. I did not anticipate her falling asleep. Get your head in the game, princess. Matt, how did that bug happen? You mean with Red in the hallway? It's because I was testing some things. One of them being the Star Egg. And I put a clone of Red there to give myself easy access to the Star Egg, and then I forgot about it when I released it. That's the perils of being a one-man operation. The bad mushroom used in the overworld made Mario immortal. Huh. I got nothing for that one, but nice. The joys of ROM hacking is figuring out weird stuff like that, so good on ya. Any chance I'll make a hard mode? I've thought about doing a hard mode of this. Going back to what I was saying last stream about how a lot of people make battle hacks, and this hack can kind of be used as a base for people who want to make battle hacks in the future. Self-included on that. I've thought about what I might do to make a battle hack that stands out. Like, I'd probably want to do stuff like make custom spell animations, or at least change them up somewhat. Maybe even change around ally specials, that kind of thing. I don't know. It's a nugget of an idea for now, but yeah, it's something that I've thought about doing at some point. I can never remember who's weak to what. Can I poison you guys? At the very least, this will attack all of you. Shake it off, princess, you'll be fine. I'm not used to enemies actually damaging me. I mean, I'm used to that in ROM hacks, but not in, like, vanilla enemies. But that's kind of the point of the hack, at the end of the day. To be a bit of a challenge. I was looking up some of the original Japanese names of enemies in this game the other day, wondering where some of the interesting translation choices came from. And looking up Smilax, I think Mega Smilax is called something really boring, like Queen Piranha Plant or something like that. I like what they did with Mega Smilax. Let's see. First and foremost, I would like to live, because Toadstool's kind of our ace in the hole here. Take out the little guys. McSwag, good to see ya. My hype person returns. Interesting translations like Neo Squid? Exactly. I have a theory for that one. Yes. Heal me, please. But yeah, in the battle formation data, there's some weird unused groups of enemies that like have no business being together. And a couple of those weird formations are things like Neo Squid, Exor's Mouth, being in a formation with the Bandana Red Pirates. There's a few of those formations like that. So my theory was that Ted Woolsey, everyone's favorite translator, must have seen those battle formations near all of like the King Calamari sunken ship type enemies and thought, okay, this is probably the mouth of the weird giant squid thing, and called it Neo Squid. Don't die. Gauntlet is back? Well, yeah, that's kind of the whole point of this hack, Miguel. It's basically a series of gauntlets. Nice try. I came prepared. Good old Ted Woolsey, that son of a submariner. Maybe we ought to... Yeah, I don't want her to die, like, at all costs, in case we get pedal blasted. And we'll make sure we've got enough FP to actually do what we need to do. Fair enough. Yeah, tech, that was kind of the idea behind making this, is at a certain point, you've played the game enough times, you know what the world map looks like, you know what the levels look like, let's just cut to the chase and get to the fighting. If Toad was a playable character, do you think he would be immune to the mushroom status? Good question. It would just make him more powerful. He'd become like super buff and ridiculously powerful if somebody used mushroom status on him. And yes, his weapon of choice would in fact be a bazooka. Speaking of weird translations, in the original Japanese, the crystalline item that boosts your defense is called Everybody Stiffens Up. So do with that information what you will. Have I ever played Hades, Chris? I have not played Hades, no. Toad is just mushroom squared. Mushroom to the power of mushroom. Another battle room down. Another healing session. Oh yeah, I'm still playing on version 1.0, by the way, because that's what my save file was on. The version 1.01, this mushroom shouldn't disappear when you use it. Just FYI. And I promise in the next patch, Boshi will make the Boshi noise. I'm sorry I took that from you on accident. Okay, this hack is pretty stingy with FP. But I made it, so I can say it's by design. Let's get more maple syrups. Let me think. This is battle room number 2 of area 6. So who's in here? I think Valentina is at the end of this one. So we probably want to get some mid mushrooms for whoever ends up doing the solo against Dodo. As mid as these mushrooms might be, we still need them. Do we want to make room at all? Got a full house here. Not sure we're really counting on anybody to drop anything. I guess we can get rid of enable juice. Miguel, you think Toad is going to be next in line for a romhack character? It wouldn't surprise me, honestly. It's not a bad choice. How many frog coins do we have? 34. Doing pretty good. Chris will definitely be here for this game's launch, but this game has already launched. There's a patch available. The link is in the description, by the way. And just as a side note, to make sure it's out there and everybody knows it, I don't care if this hack is posted on different websites like, you know, Game Banana or whatever modding websites you know about, but the GitHub link is where I will always post patches of this game, updated versions. So I can't vouch for updated versions being posted on other websites. Josh, you always use Dodo, or Bowser as your middle character for the Dodo fight? Yeah, I usually do the same thing, honestly. Tech, we need a game that follows the Axem Rangers? Yeah, I did that one already. That was the first hack I ever made, Legend of the Axem Rangers. There's a playthrough on my channel. Yeah, Chris, there is a release version available, and there are a couple of things I need to fix, but none of them are so, like, grossly game-breaking that it should keep you from enjoying it. Okay. Remind me next time to change the battle music. I don't think we need the Smithy Gang battle music the entire time. Good Apollo Burning Star 4. Sup gamers indeed. Thanks for coming in. My apologies for whatever happened to a good Apollo Burning Stars 1 through 3. Chess Scholar, thanks for coming in. Keeping SNES SMRPG alive? Well, somebody's got to do it. It's a burden I gladly bear. We've got quite a crowd tonight. Yeah, according to my count here, we have 52 people watching right now, which is the most I've ever had. So, by quite a wide margin. So thanks for coming in, everybody. Yeah, did you know that these orb enemies, both these blue ones and the ones in Booster Tower, have like crazy high defense? But you may not know that because normally you'd have much better equipment and stuff by this point in the game. I honestly don't remember how much HP they have, maybe like 20, something like that. Fireman, you want to wait until a few patches? Alright, fair enough. I'm an old school ROM hacker from back in the day where people would release beta patches of their games knowing that they were incomplete, and I'd still play them even then, just because they were the only options we had. Sorry to channel my my inner boomer there, but you guys have it so good these days with the number of ROM hacks available for different games. Back in my day, we had like 1 or 2 hacks for one game, and we had to share the hack. Alright, we got some chunky boys. Nightly, thanks for coming in. Has anyone said you sound like Strider? You'd be probably about the 30th person to tell me that, honestly. Another thing I did on this channel once, I did a playthrough of Paper Mario, where I didn't use action commands, and at some point later I had released like a short highlight video that talked about how the playthrough went and that kind of thing. And of course, the very first comment on that video was somebody saying, close enough. Welcome back, Strider. Coheed mentioned? What does that mean? Did I miss something here? Did I make a reference to something I didn't mean to? Is this like another 6-7 thing? The first Super Metroid hack. Yeah, that was... I mean, a dumpster fire is putting it mildly, but yes. But again, every hacking community has to start somewhere. Apollo, my feed guided me to your channel and I've been slowly making my way through your videos. Glad I could catch you live, though. I'm glad you could catch me live, too. And I'm glad you're enjoying the channel. Up to this point. Coheed and Cambria is a band. Man, I'm old, because I have no idea who that is. I heard the band Fastball on the radio the other day, and it was one of those, like, you know, classic rock stations. And I'm thinking, how dare you? Fastball is classic rock now? That's just insulting at this point. Okay, so that small egg is Birdo. Birdo hits like a Mack truck. And I'm not sure there's much we can do about that now. I mean, just being low-leveled in general. Defense. Everybody's got fairly similar defense, except Bowser and Geno are a bit above everyone else. So, I guess this is as good as we can get here. Tempted to put Mario on the team just for jumping. We shall resist. What is the deal with 6-7? I keep hearing it. Okay, I only know about 6-7 because I have a 6-year-old who's in elementary school. But, yeah. Honestly, I don't think she knows what it means. But I guess it's you use the term 6-7 to refer to something that you don't think is that great. Like, your friend shows you a video that you think is lame, so you say, 6-7. Something like that. Again, I'm hearing this secondhand from a 6-year-old, so take that for what it's worth. I'm so boomer, I remember sharing custom WADs for Doom. Nice. You're among friends here. Dreams, I'm sorry I broke your heart by murdering the heavy troopas. To be fair, if I didn't do that, they would have sat on me, and we can't have that. Ugh, the egg. I don't like the egg. I don't know how to pronounce that. Adajobi 1000? I tried my best. But I'm glad you came across my channel. Glad to have you here. Treating Linkin Park as classic rock? Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written. Apollo, you're a college professor, your students tried to explain it to you. It's more Gen Alpha than Z. I don't know. I'm officially at that age, here in the ripe old age of 34, where, like, anybody in their 20s and younger is all the same generation to me. I understand Gen Z and Gen Alpha are two different things, but you're all Gen Z to me. Sorry. Now I know why the boomers called all of us millennials. Rhyme Feather, thanks for coming in. 6-7 was made up to confuse the older folks? Did they try to, like, confuse us with 67 and 69? I don't know. I can't keep up with the kids these days. Yes, thank you for the Linkin Park sound off there. Okay, Dreams. Next heavy troopa I encounter, which there might not be any, we will allow to launch. Just for you, okay? I appreciate all of you sounding off with your ages now. 33, 40, 31. Yeah, again, the only reason why I know as much as I do about this 6-7 thing is because I have a kid. Ow. One thing I've discovered, though, is the quickest way to make a fad disappear is to try to embrace it, because your kids hate that. Like, so my daughter has this super old toy that's the carryover from when she was a baby. It's this, well, not quite a baby, more like a toddler, but it's this remote control toy, like a TV remote control toy. And when you press one of the buttons on it, it'll say that number out loud. So the other day I grabbed that remote toy and just kept pressing the 6 and the 7 over and over again so it would say it out loud until she gave me the, "Dad, stop!" So yeah, it works. Yeah, a bunch of us 90s kids in here. Josh, your stepson's 5? Ah, that's a fun age. You'll have a good time. Adam, you're 26, 90s kid. You are on the council, but we do not grant you the rank of 90s kid. Yeah, I've always heard the term 90s kid meaning that you grew up in the 90s, like your formative years were in the 90s. So, Josh, if you were born in 85, I would consider your formative years in the 90s. I was born in 91, so my formative years were still in the 90s. Fat Lazy Gamer. Excellent descriptive name. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate that you love the content. Hope you'll stick around. The 90s really was just peak civilization. Although I'm sure most of us are saying that because we were kids in the 90s and we didn't have responsibilities. But still. Honestly, I'm not sure what the quickest path to victory here is. We do some damage, but not a whole lot. But the eggs do 80 damage, but you kind of have to get lucky as to when Birdo uses it. How much does Geno Beam do? Your wife was born in 1990? Yeah, my wife was born in 94, and I kind of, I kind of give her that flack of, yeah, I guess you're kind of a 90s kid. You're kind of on the tail end of being a 90s kid, I guess. Oh, there we go. Got her. Adulting does in fact suck. Sorry we're all so old, guys. Is Birdo immune to the fear status? Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's immune to everything. TV came out 100 years ago. Man, what a time to be alive. Now there's 1,000 channels and nothing to watch. Thanks for that, Zap, or should I say Grandpa Simpson? Rhyme Feather. Oh, this could be bad. If they all use Blizzard, that could be very bad for me. Okay, that one's confused, which is helpful. Okay. Alive. Let's see. Do we do a pick-me-up? Because they could just all use Blizzard again. I don't remember if they have a, different attack pattern. I guess we'll find out. Your brother's tripping out that Pokemon is 30. I think that's an even better way to look at generations, is like take something that has significant cultural impact, and depending on what age you were when that happened, like if you're old enough to remember it. Like, if you're old enough to remember Pokemon when it first came out, you're a millennial. You're a 90s kid. How about that? You thought the attack POW symbol was an upside-down Bart Simpson face? Okay, next time I level up, I need to check that. Yeah, Tech, I'm mentally 18 until I wake up in the morning and my joints hurt. But yeah, I get what you mean. But I'm grateful I had a good role model growing up. My dad is what, like 60... Dang, my dad's old. Like 67? I think? Dang it, I just said 6'7". But yeah, he's my dad was a great role model growing up because he, you know, he went to work, did all his adult responsibilities, did a great job taking care of us kids, and then he'd come home and watch like Johnny Quest and TV shows cartoons that he watched when he was a kid. And I have instilled those same values into myself and my family. Like, I watch Pokemon with my daughter, gladly. Oh hey, another rare enemy. Let's take care of the birdies here. I remember Zoo Pals. Ugh, Zoo Pals. Tamagotchi. More like Traumagotchi. Those old commercials where they compress a bus full of Pokemon into a Game Boy. Ah, man. They knew how to make commercials back then. I still remember the commercial for Super Smash Bros. For the N64, where they had Mario and Kirby and... who else was it? Maybe Donkey Kong and Yoshi, something like that, all come out and, like, beat the crap out of each other. Like, they were clearly people in costumes, but they would just beat the crap out of each other. Good times. Anyone remember zoo books? Dude, zoo books are still a thing. Like, I got my daughter a couple of zoo books. Why did I give this guy the fancy death animation? Maybe he already had it and I never changed it. Yoshi with the hammer, that's the one. Super Smash Bros. Dragon Ball Z, Toonami. Oh, man. Those were the days. I watched Dragon Ball Z as a kid, and even then, as a kid, I remember thinking, wow, it really takes them a long time to get on with this, don't they? Mario, Pikachu, DK, and Yoshi. Thank you, fat lazy gamer, for your contribution. I feel weird calling you that because it feels like I'm insulting you. Wizard 101. I saw the commercials for Wizard 101, but I never played it. Doesn't that genie only come out of the chest monsters? No. The blue one doesn't. The blue one is unused in the original game. It's the kind of the orangish red one that comes out of the chest monsters. Yeah, I feel like back in the day, Tech Mage, kind of what you're saying there, it feels like commercials, they used to put a lot of thought into them and really make you try to remember them just for being silly. But nowadays, ads feel so generic and lame. Maybe it's because I'm not watching kids' TV channels anymore. Yeah, Drunk Ship, I remember them playing reruns of Dragon Ball Z and wondering why it took them so long to get the new episodes out. I don't think I finished Dragon Ball Z until I was in college. Like, I think it got to a point where they started playing reruns so often that I gave up on it. And then I had a roommate in college who had all of the seasons on DVD, so we watched the Boo Saga. Man, if I wasn't plugged up right now with this cold, I would do the whole find out next time on Dragon Ball Z thing. Drunk Ship, you don't know if you ever finished it? I don't know. I mean, if we're being honest, it's Dragon Ball Z. If you've seen one saga, you've seen them all. Forgive me if that's blasphemous to any of you out there. What? How did I miss? GRSBB5959. This is amazing. Thank you for this ROM hack. I've played it on and off all day. It's amazing. Thank you. I'm glad you like it so much. And thanks for coming to watch me play it. That's exactly what I want to hear when I make stuff like this. That people like playing it. No. He has a point. Give me the memberships back. Sorry, no refunds. Take it up with YouTube. DBZ abridged. I've wanted to check that out at some point. I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged with some friends back in the day, and I remember that being pretty funny. So I wanted to Oh, thank you, Chess Scholar. Welcome to becoming a supporter. That head next to your name looks lovely. It's a good shade of red. Yes, give me the good brain chemicals. Wait, okay. Upside down Bart Simpson head, you say? I mean, I see the spikiness toward the bottom. I don't know. Maybe if you were playing this on a CRT TV, I could see that. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged was hilarious. Like, I remember them playing, what was it? That one guy that was supposed to be like the handsome guy for one of the arcs. They would play Sexy Back every time he came on screen. It was a good time. Let's see. Dodo does use Flutterhush, but I don't know if we really need Bowser to use special attacks. Oh no, but Valentina's a toughie. Because she has both Sleep, and she can on rare occasion use Petal Blast. I guess maybe True Form Pin is better? I'm not sure there's a right answer here. Maybe we just need to make sure we'll give Gino the True Form Pin. That way we have at least somebody who should be up at all times. Let's see. The P and O are supposed to be the eyes? Okay, maybe I need to look at it again. LimeWire? I never really used LimeWire much, but my older brother did, and he definitely diseased the PC on more than one occasion. Dad and Mom were not happy about it, especially since Dad had to use the computer for work. You may be old enough to remember Pokemon, but have you ever bricked your family PC trying to download Linkin Park songs? Yeah, that took less HP than I remember. Yeah, let's cheat a little bit and boost here. Using Geno Boost always feels so dirty, because it practically feels like a win button half the time. Linkingpark.exe. Here's a completely off-topic question. Back when you were making Super Koopa RPG, did you mean for Black to end up being so comically busted? Kind of. So, in balancing the characters in the hack, Black is definitely intended to be your glass cannon character. He doesn't have great defense, but he's supposed to have pretty darn good offense. He just starts out kind of rough, so you may not get that impression at the beginning. But yeah, if you stick with him, he is kind of supposed to be the most damage-dealing character on your team. Getting Mew under the truck. Classic. Your dad somehow deleted Windows playing Free Cell? Nice. I don't know, Dad. This guy online kept telling me to delete System 32, so I thought, how bad could it be? Yeah, Zap. My dad was actually the one that taught me how to burn CDs, because he wanted me to burn some for him in my spare time. Rostaboy, thanks for coming in. You did win the lottery. Congratulations. Squishy, welcome in. Good to see you. Okay, a nice little nap for Gino. Okay, you would have woken me up anyway. Your dad thought the PC was a router? Classic dad move. Thankfully, my dad was at least semi-competent with computers. I think he still is for the most part, but like he knows enough to get by, but you know, he's not using LimeWire though. Like back when my brother was a teenager, he had a MySpace account, and my dad created a MySpace account too and said, the rule with having a MySpace account is you have to add me as a friend. Like, add my dad as a friend. He did not have that same rule for me. I think it's because I was more trustworthy than my brother. I didn't get into trouble as often as he did. FLG, you remember before Windows 95? Ah, the before times. Napster. How is raising the kids? Oh, they're good. The little one, the 6-year-old, she starts school back up on Monday, which she is bittersweet about. She wants to see her friends again, but also, who the heck wants to go back to school? And the 8-month-old, he's learning to crawl. He does kind of this hybrid crawl right now, where he like has one, he kind of looks like a crab, where he has like one lobster claw that he sticks out to just kind of drag himself forward. It's one way to do it. Dreams, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Waiting until the boss runs out of FP is a viable strategy. I will not apologize for art. Jacob, you literally turned 40 before the start of the stream? Well, happy birthday. Yes, drunkship. As the professionals call it in all of the parenting books, my son went crab mode. Tweak Twix, thanks for coming in. Glad you could catch the stream too. Thanks for coming in. I'm curious how some of you all found out about emulation and ROM hacks. I discovered it watching my older brother play Pokemon. There's a story there. So way back in the day, where did it start? I had a friend when I was in high school who, we got to talking somehow about the game Earthbound, and I did not have Earthbound at the time. But he had told me, you know, hey, there's ways you can get it. And he showed me how to find ROMs, how to get emulators, all of that kind of stuff. And then, from there, just in my hunting for things, you know, after we had beaten Earthbound, we were thinking, okay, well, there was that game Mother 3 that came out, but that didn't come out in the United States. Is there a way that we can play that somehow? And somehow in our hunting, that's when I discovered this website called ACMLM Board 2, which some of you in the chat may know that name. That's where Super Mario RPG ROM hacking was born. That's where Lazy Shell was posted back in the day, where all the updates and all the versions were posted. All of us back in those days would post information about our own ROM hacking projects we were working on, sharing ideas back and forth, and that's where I got my start, was doing that. And Earthbound is a great game, by the way. Druid Vorse, yeah, I recognize your name. Weren't you semi-around back in those days? Or maybe I'm making that up. But yeah, my first emulator was ZSNES. I remember Earthbound crashing on my emulator on more than one occasion. Alright, there's another one down. I love this one. So many chests. Yeah, I thought so, Druid. I thought I remembered you from back in the day. Let's give Bowser some speed. Toadstool gets magic attack. We'll just make Bowser as tanky as he can be. Ah, the good old days. Oh yes, remember to change the music. Thank you. Yeah, I want to say, Druid, were you one of the ones that tested my hack? Maybe not. I don't remember. I feel bad, but I honestly can't remember who did test my Axem Rangers hack. We'll go back to Mountain Railroad again. Okay, let's buy some stuff. Earthbound is awesome unless you decide to get every rare drop in the game. I recommend not doing that. That kind of takes the fun out of it, honestly, if you're trying to, if you're just trying to get through it, you really don't need the rare drop items. Am I playing on FX Pack? I am not, no. Remember the SMRPG expansion hack that was being made by Altu Fenrir? I do remember that, yeah. I was one of the ones that was playtesting that for him when we went along. It's a shame he went the way of the dodo and just kind of dropped off the face of the earth, like so many others. He actually, he gifted me, like, he had this website that he owned for, like, blogging, and he gifted me a spot on that website where I could blog updates about my hack, but I was updating things, like, so sporadically and infrequently, I never actually ended up using it, but I just thought it was really cool, like, you and I have never met in real life, but here, have this piece of a website so you could post stuff. Of course, that website's been down for years, but still. We just did crap like that back in the day, guys. Let's go see what the fancy shop has to offer. Drunk Ship, you were one of those along with us? Did you go by another name? I don't remember. Or were you always Drunk Ship? Let's see. Lowers defenses but raises attack. I guess we can do the safe armor, just to be safe. Rainbow suit would be nice once we can afford it. I guess we'll save up our money a little bit. Yeah, good old... I have never been sure of how to pronounce his name. Gian Gurgolo? The good old author of Lazy Shell? I remember talking to him back in the day. I was one of those people who had suggested to him, why not add an audio editor to Lazy Shell? And he said, yeah, that's never going to happen. And yeah, now we have an audio editor. So I like to think I was a part of that. Over the Mountain, thanks for coming in. When was the first time you played this game, or any Super Mario game in general? Honestly, the first game I remember ever playing, the very first video game I ever played, was Super Mario Brothers, the first one. I remember we went to visit a cabin in Nevada, like the Sierra Nevadas. Tahoe, that's the place. We did a Tahoe, visited a Tahoe cabin that had an NES in it, with the Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt combo. And that's the first game I remember ever playing in my life. Chess Scholar, you don't even remember subscribing? I was always here. I am infinite. I am an eternal. The rocks get rockier. Let's just beam you in the face. That should do it. Not just an audio editor, but the song Africa. Actually, the song Africa, I'm 100% responsible for that one. I mean, if you don't count Toto. $95%ers, thanks for coming in. And you can thank Tech Mage for that membership. Your chat's getting flagged for having a domain name? Yeah, Druid, I know, I have that one. It's still lying around anyway. Ryanetske, however you say that. But he asked you to remove it? I'm pretty sure that's up on romhacking.net. You were Reality back in the day on the old Starman forum? No, I wasn't on the Starman forum. I had, back in the day, I had a GameFAQs account. I still do, actually. And I had the ACMLM Board 2 account. I think those were really the only two places that I went. Gen 1 Pokemon, Final Fantasy, Mystic Quest. Good times. Classics. Mario RPG came out at the same time as FF7. Both transcend mere games. Yeah, I'll give that one to you. I mean, if you couldn't tell, I'm kind of a fan of this game. I don't know if that comes through in my attitude about it. Back when GameFAQs was good. I will say I do think GameFAQs is still the GOAT for guides. Like, for actual facts guides about games, GameFAQs is still the best. You can't beat those text document guides that people make. What is the weirdest ROM hack I have played? I'll have to think about that one. I'm not sure. Have I ever played Armageddon? I played Armageddon back in its early days. So, sort of what Druid and I went on a tangent about for a minute there. Armageddon was one of those hacks that was being updated on that website ACMLM Board 2 back when it first came out. I played one of the earlier releases of the game, where it was super hard, honestly. It was, like, unbearably hard, to where, like, I couldn't get through it. But I know it's up to version 10 now. Version 10 was the final version, and I haven't played that. And a lot has changed since those earlier versions. So it's on my list to play at some point. Give it another chance. But yeah, it was just... much like all of our hacks back in the day, it was kind of rough. Wow, Chess Scholar, thanks for the gifted membership. You guys are coming through tonight. Have I ever played Pokemon ROM hacks? I haven't actually played any Pokemon ROM hacks. I've got Super Mario Mon on my list of hacks to play. My problem with Pokemon is I am an incredibly casual player of Pokemon. Like even a normal Pokemon game, I die multiple times. Like, I never get a game over, but I have Pokemon die partway through. I'm just not very good at it. But they're still fun, though. You recommend 7.7 or 8 and then try 10? 10 is a bit more complex, so more mechanics. Okay, that's good to know. Can you find those earlier versions anywhere anymore? I would think that 10 would be the only one that's really still out there, but who knows. Rhyme Feather, thanks for the gifted membership. Man, Christmas was last week, guys, but thank you nonetheless. Pokemon is super boring. To each their own. I will say, for me, Pokemon can be kind of hit and miss. Like, there usually comes a point where I'm at the end of the game, you're beating the champion and the Elite Four and whatever, and I get to this point where I start thinking, the game's still going, huh? I thought we were about done here. Like, I like the beginning of Pokemon games, but toward the end, I'm kind of starting to get tired of them. Thanks for coming in, Jacob. Hope you have a good night. I'm sure I have an old version of Armageddon somewhere on my computer, but it's probably one of those super old versions. Yeah, Fireman, the hacks are that good of Pokemon? Yeah, I need to check them out. Just put them on my never-ending list of stuff I need to check out. Give us 40-year-olds some time. We can find older versions. Yeah, I remember sometime last year, I was talking to Yakabomb. You guys remember Yakabomb, right? And we were trying to put together, because he had released that updated version of Lazy Shell not so long ago, and we were trying to put together, the two of us, all the old patches that we have, or old hacks that like you can't find anymore, like the beta versions of Armageddon and stuff like that. And we came up with a few. I think there are some on the server, but we couldn't quite track down all of them between the two of us. Revolution was one of the bigger ones. I'm pretty sure that one alone I have like 5 versions of on this computer. Alright, let's hope this hits you guys. Boom, 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 boom. Fire red, leaf green cosmetic mod that changes every Pokemon into an anime girl? Okay, but is every Pokemon a different anime girl, or are they all the same anime girl? It's a very important question. Okay, that's the Tsar Dragon, one of his little fire sprite dudes. Is Malo level 14 yet? No. So we don't have Snowy. Different anime girls, each one a custom design. Okay, fair enough. Nuzlocke? Yeah, I've heard of Nuzlocke challenges. I've just never been brave enough to try one myself. Tsar Dragon can hit pretty hard. Let's give ourselves a boost here. River City Ransom 2. Nice. Never played that myself. Suddenly Volcano. Don't think too hard about it. I considered changing the battlefield here, but it just doesn't really make sense for the Tsar Dragon to just fall into the ground. I think you explained this already, but I forgot. When you KO multiple dry bones, why do they all disappear one at a time instead of all at once? Ah, good question. So, most enemies are just programmed to die once their HP hits 0, but there are some exceptions, like bosses and the bone enemies. Instead, they have this specific property that says, don't kill them automatically when their HP hits 0, but then there's a separate check in their code that says, you know, if they've been hit by a special attack, then you can make them disappear, make them die. But that only... they have to run that check for each enemy one at a time. So that's why they disappear one at a time instead of all together. It's also why, on the rare occasion that there are 2 bosses in one battle, like Great Guy and Knife Guy, if you beat both of them at the same time, they don't disappear at the same time. Nice. We like freebies. The jump is very overpowered in this game. Well, yeah. That's part of why I don't have Mario on my team right now, is I want to give the enemies a little bit of a fighting chance. We were kind of doing this thing last stream where we were talking about people had ideas for things they wanted to see in Super Mario RPG, and I told everybody, let that be your springboard. Make your own ROM hack, and make that the thing you put in the ROM hack. So there you go, 95%ers. Make a Smithy ROM hack. You've got this. A new SMRPG with a Geno backstory would be awesome. Man, I would love it if they released a second Super Mario RPG, but alas, I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. Give the enemies a fighting chance. Team of Peach, Bowser, Geno. Okay, fair. I hear it now. Oh, yeah, that's true. Druid. I read that interview or that blurb where he said that, and part of me is just saying, don't do that. Don't give me hope, because we know that's not going to happen. Gino could possess something like a tank. That's not a bad idea. He could possess the bazooka that one toad forgets at home. We have our plot, ladies and gentlemen. The ability to confuse or manipulate enemies. That would be quite the chore to implement, I think. But no, I mean, if you want to get fancy, there was a... If you count invincibility, there are 7 status effects in this game, and there's evidence that there was an 8th one planned at some point that never got off the ground. And according to some digging that Yakabom did, that 8th status effect was probably something like a Berserk status. So that's probably as close as you're gonna get. Those lizards in the vanilla game have a confusion status? Kind of. It's not really a status, though. It's just a couple of checks that exist only for those enemies that say, if you got hit, then hit yourself. Gino will be added to Super Smash Bros. As soon as we get Half-Life 3. Wow, FLG coming through. You found all of the versions of Armageddon. Nice. There we go. I'm still trying to see it. Up, down. Okay, so if the P and the O are the eyes... Okay, so if you squint a little bit, I can see Bart Simpson. Okay. Kind of. Vaguely. Oh wait, I already used the flower tab. Is there older than version 4? I don't know. Oh cool, we have this now. Even better. Nice. Cowabunga, man. Okay, I know Bart says Cowabunga on occasion, but I still think of the Ninja Turtles when I hear Cowabunga. Ah, the Juju, another rare enemy in the original game's code. The stacks of magazines of this game added to the Lab X8 site? I have not seen that, but that sounds interesting. Oh no, I did see that, actually. Yeah. I remember seeing a few different things about that. It's pretty cool. You know, until I made this hack, I didn't appreciate how much the game kind of steps things up for the 6th star compared to the rest of the game. Because the first 5 areas, the first 5 stars of this game, as it were, took us about, you know, the whole 2.5 hours we had on the stream last time. We're about an hour and a half into this, and we haven't beaten one area yet this time around. I'm sorry, Super Mario RPG. I apologize. I did not recognize your game. Yeah, those little cactus enemies that didn't quite make it. Poor little guys. And that one cactus boss that never got finalized. Let's top off the FP here. You have to keep in mind who the boss of Area 6 is. The coolest, smartest, and toughest bosses in the game. Over the mountain, I did in fact make this. Yeah, you think it's pretty well made? Thank you. I do try my best. If you kill the butt, the head dies with it. There you go. Punchinello just didn't exist. And Punchinello is just such a weird, kind of out there boss in general. I wonder how late in development he got added. Uh-oh. I don't want to anger the ants. Monsters getting furious? Well, you just need to calm down, buddy. Maybe do some deep breaths. That'll work. How long did it take me to make this, and how? Well, the and how, there's a program called Lazy Shell that you can use to edit ROMs of this game, and that's what I used to edit most of this. I had to do some ASM to make some of it work, like being able to switch Mario out of your party. That takes some ASM to do, but most of it was done in Lazy Shell. As for how long it took me to make it, I worked on it for about a year, but I took breaks in between. Like, I took a couple months off to make a different ROM hack. I took another couple months off to do some other things. So, I mean, altogether it was maybe like 6 months to make this. Remakes, endgame, extra boss fights were awesome. Yeah, the plan is to add those boss fights to the SNES version one of these days. And we just need to... Got a couple more issues we need to hammer out with that, but that'll come eventually. TM. Toadstool, I mean, we're not really using you to attack, but why not? Uh-oh. There he is, guys. Man, he's even more handsome than I remembered. Okay, let's make sure we're topped off for this one. I considered removing this, the little sound off that they do here at the beginning, but where's the fun in that? Yes, Chess Scholar, spam those emotes. Wow, the creator of this ROM hack inserted himself into it? Cringe. Are there any regular enemies that you can't do 9,999 damage to with Geno Whirl? That's a good question. I don't know off the top of my head. I want to say no, but I'm not 100% sure. Where's Pink? Ugh, Chess Scholar. YouTube only let me do 4 emojis, or emotes. I'm sorry. Let's just go for it. You're genuinely impressed that Mario RPG hacks are a thing? Well, if you like that, you should check out the other hacks I put on my GitHub. Do we still have that ice bomb? No, we used it. Fire bomb it is. My makeup's running. Friendship ended with Pink. Black is my new best friend. Sick reference, bro. I appreciate it. Oh boy. Double oh boy. Okay, we got pink out of the way, but the others are still here. The good news is, all of them should be pretty close to dead. But the bad news is, being almost dead doesn't help if they're still attacking me pretty heavily. Do we bring back... Well, Toadstool still has defense up status right now, so maybe we just do an elixir to top the two of them off. Bring back Gino when we can. Sing the Axem theme. There's a theme? Is it this theme that's playing right now? You remember trying to make a ROM hack back in the day, but it sucked so bad? Well, it's like I always say. Being really bad at something is the first step at being really good at something. Ouch. Do we have any more bombs? I guess we don't. I mean, we have a fright bomb, but I'm looking for something that attacks everybody. Maybe we just try to knock out black. Anyone gonna watch Games Done Quick Marathon starting tomorrow? I tend to not watch them live, but I will probably watch the VODs later. I do like a good speed game marathon. Man, they really need more Super Mario RPG ROM hacks at those things. Just promise me this, guys. If anyone out there in YouTube land plays one of my hacks at like a Games Done Quick or something, please invite me. I would love to go. Okay, there's black. Gone. One of the more threatening ones. You need 200 members on YouTube for more emojis? Well, we're on our way, right? Hey, Camel Pharaoh, thanks for coming in. Yes, this is a ROM hack. I made this. Let's bring back Gino. If someone could speedrun Super Koopa RPG and show it off, I'd be there for it. Like, I would unironically love to see somebody, like, pick apart my game with speedrunning tech. Like, skip some boss in a way that I hadn't even thought about. Wario Land, thanks for coming in. Does the streamer read the YouTube messages here? No, I don't read your messages, but thanks for asking. But no, seriously, I do try to read chat when I can. I've just also got to play the game, you know? Respect everybody else. But yeah, you said this is your favorite boss in the vanilla game? You know, you may find this hard to believe, but it's my favorite boss too. Dang, Chess Scholar, going all out tonight. Thank you for, is that 10 gifted subs? Or gifted memberships? This is not Twitch. Thanks a lot, I appreciate it. Man, between you and Tech Mage, I feel like I'm privileged. You know what would actually be kind of a fun idea with the Axem Rangers is, instead of having them like form up on the blade, is if you put them all together and had them do a Yaridovich style transformation, where they all came together and formed Axem White, something like that. That'd be kind of cool. Wario Land, that hack you're talking about, was also made by me. I made both this one and the one you're talking about. FLG, I have faith in you, if you wanted to do it. I mean, the whole thing with GDQ, right? You just have to submit a run to show that you, like, that you can do it, right? It doesn't necessarily matter how big your following is, right? It's So even if you're not that big, you'd still do it. Legend of the Axem Rangers. Yeah, that's my first hack that I ever made, was Legend of the Axem Rangers, my friend. Yeah, the attack where you literally just drop King K. Rool on top of people. That was a fun one to make. I liked that one. Your problem would be financing the trip? Ah, that's fair. They usually hold it someplace in the East Coast, and I live in the West Coast myself, so yeah, it'd probably be quite the trip for me, too. But hey, I could make it happen. What was the legend? The legend was that I made a hack, and they said it couldn't be done. That's the legend. That's it. Why is it called body slam when he doesn't even body slam you? You don't understand. The axe is an extension of the body. So yes, he does still body slam you. No, but really, the story of that hack... we tend to be our own worst critics, you know? So, the point of the Legend of the Axem Rangers hack was it was supposed to be an origin story of how the Axem Rangers found each other and came together. And that, kind of the plot twist at the end, was that the Axem Rangers that Mario fights were just robotic clones of the real Axem Rangers. So, you're not even fighting the real ones. But the story didn't quite pan out the way that I wanted to at the end of the day, but that's just virtue of making a ROM hack for the first time. I didn't really know what I was doing, and the tools that I had to work with were pretty buggy. But yeah, as you can see, being at a relatively low level, with relatively bad equipment, the Axem Ranger's Breaker Beam actually does quite a bit of damage here. So, yeah. Don't leave home without your Geno Boost, kids. Emix Grax, thanks for coming in. Yeah, Bowser is definitely the easy mode first choice for partners. But if you really want to give yourself a challenge, pick Toadstool. I think she's the hardest one to start out with. Would I remake it? I've thought about doing that at some point. It's just a thought for now, because I have some other projects on the table right now, but I've thought about taking another pass at Legend of the Axem Rangers with the tools and knowledge that I have now. I think I could finally do it some pretty decent justice. I'm still not much of a spriter, though, if anyone wants to take a crack at that. But yeah, I might try to take another pass at Legend of the Axem Rangers someday, give it a proper origin story and all that. Yeah, the blade fades out now, and Axem Red just kind of chills there. But don't worry, for continuity's sake, you still get 17 experience. Alright, there's 6 stars down, 1 to go. Alright, we can get to Area 7 now. But first, our OSHA-mandated smoke break. Yeah, Wario Land, that probably is the best setup in terms of, like, survivability. Mario, Peach, and Bowser. But I like to change it up every once in a while. Chess Scholar is going to be my sprite hero. Any secret speed tech? Yeah, in the back hallway, there's a clone of Red that gets you the star egg. You can use that to cheat your way through the game. Alright. The star is here, right? Cool. Only one more to go. Alright, we're gonna need some stuff. Do I want Bowser on my team? Because the enemies in Area 7 are Bowser's Keep enemies, and they run away if Bowser's on your team. So maybe we let Mallow have a minute here. I have had multiple people across my videos give me crap for the way I pronounce Mallow. And it has changed nothing. I will continue to say Mallow. People have told me, you should pronounce it the same way that you pronounce, like, marshmallow, because he's supposed to be, like, a marshmallow. But that's just it. I say marshmallow. It doesn't make sense for... I don't say marshmallow or marshmallow. I guess we can get rid of one of these. FP is still king. I guess we just roll with this. My tried and true strategy that has worked so far has been, let's go with this, and if I die, I'll change something. Let's see, we already have all the best equipment here. It is wrong, but that's okay. Okay, Smarty Pants, how do you people pronounce Mallow's name? The fluffy one didn't even get to try them. I understood that reference. I don't really have enough money to buy anything exciting right now. Yeah, I guess we'll just save up. Maybe the safety badge would probably be the thing we want. Marshmallow. Marshmelons, as a Spock would say. Pronounce it like it rhymes with shallow? Call him mallow? Okay, I could see that one, but it still sounds weird to me. I'm sorry, I don't know why. Zap, you go with mallow too, so you're on my side? At least I'm assuming that's how you pronounce what you wrote there, like the word mall and the word O. Malu. Mal, like malware? Oh, mallow. Okay, mallow. That's away. Yeah, shallow, mallow. I'm sticking with mallow, guys. If mallow is right, then I don't want to be right. Alright, fireman, thanks for coming in. Enjoy the VOD. I'll talk to you in the future, apparently. This is the first room. Oh, and just so you know, the third battle room is this way, but you can't go there until you do the other two. Am I a Trekker or a Trekkie? I've heard the term Trekkie before. What does Trekker mean? Not quite enough oomph to finish the job. It's the equivalent of saying milk instead of milk. What, you mean like milk? I don't know. I'm usually the kind of guy that's pretty particular about pronouncing certain words right. Like one of my pet peeves is when people pronounce the word mischievous like mischievous. That always bugs me. Like, it's mischievous is just wrong. It's not an alternate way of pronouncing it. It's just wrong. Okay, what if we boosted Mallow and let him use Snowy? Okay, so I must be a casual fan because I don't know what Trekker means. Okay, fair enough. I'm a casual Trekkie fan. Alright, Josh, have a good night. Thanks for coming in. And congrats again on getting married. You just pronounce Malo different every time. There you go. You got this, Mal. Ow. Bowser's mood has affected the monster. One thing that could benefit Legend of the Axem Rangers is maybe something to tell if it's too early to fight an enemy like the Snake Boss. That's funny, because to be fair, I think the Snake Boss is the one boss that does do exactly what you're talking about. If you try to go into that room with the Snake Boss, it tells you, you know, hey, you may not want to do this right now. You fought Punchinello early on and got destroyed? Yeah. Well, yeah. Sorry, my friend. Happens to the best of us. Yeah, alright, I guess we'll keep Malu on our team. Okay, I promised Dreams that I'd let one of the fat guys hit me. So, I'll just keep one of the fat guys alive. Check the inventory. Let me adjust my schedule for you. Okay, why is Geno the only one that can damage somebody? Geno Beam. Goodness, these guys are tough. Maul Ow. Just pronouncing Malo in different ways that get increasingly unhinged. Okay. Dreams, I don't know if you're still here in chat, but there you go. One of the fat guys hit me. Are they immune to Geno Whirl? Well, those guys aren't. I guess, do we really need Toadstool in the rest of this fight here? I guess we'll just, Nice. Thanks for the help. You bought it here because you're smart. You bought it here at Malo Mart. Malo Mart. That's okay, I'd run for me too. I say Toadstool and not Peach. I tend to flip-flop back and forth with Toadstool. To be fair, according to Super Mario 64, both are correct. Kyle, thanks for coming in. You are in fact obligated to tell your friends about this hack. I believe that's in the fine print of getting a membership. I'm okay. Clay Morton? We don't talk about Clay Morton. He will be Mac the Knife for as long as I live. Ah yes, my favorite Super Mario RPG characters. Malo and Geno. And pronouncing the word mouth like Neo Squid. I believe that's the Gaelic pronunciation. Honey syrup, why not? Clay Morton's name makes sense, it's a pun on Claymore. Well, yeah, it does make sense, but... I mean, Mac the Knife was also a pun. And by the rule of nostalgia, it's the pun I grew up with, and is therefore the better one. So, that's all I've got for you. Jeaner. Magic doesn't do much. This is Magic Koopa. Wait, Gino is an Italian slur? Is it really? What do they call Gino in... Is there an Italian translation of this game? I wonder what they call Gino then. Wizakoopa? Oh, don't get started. If we're calling him anything besides Magic Koopa, we're calling him Kamek. Giuseppe? Wait, is it really Giuseppe, or are you making that up? Isn't Gaelic just two Irish lesbians? Okay, that's not bad. This guy. Okay, so I had this idea. I mentioned months ago that Super Koopa RPG 2 is a thing that's going to happen at some point. It's in the very early stages of development, so don't be waiting around for that one to come out anytime soon. But I had this idea where Gino would be a character in the game, just not a playable one. But there would be a point where Gino and this particular Magic Koopa, who is supposed to be Kamek, meet up with each other again, and they have a... Like, they do this whole, like, hey, do you know who I am? And Gino says, or Kamek says, yeah, you're that living doll that helped Bowser save us that one time when I got hypnotized. And Gino says something like, yes, that's right, it's great to see you again, Wizakoopa. And then Kamek gets mad at him and says, it's Kamek. Bahamut, my favorite Yoshi relative. Gino is a slur and it's close enough in pronunciation to Gino? Am I gonna get in trouble for saying Gino's name on stream? YouTube, please don't cancel me. Gino, G like gun, so Gunno. My favorite Super Mario RPG character, Gun. Nice. 1 damage. This fight feels so weird to me. In my casual playthroughs of this game, I can normally beat Kamek before he is able to summon anything, so this just feels wrong. Kamek isn't real. Kamek can't hurt you. Something 6-7. Alright, hold on a second, guys. I need to take a drink of water. Stay hydrated. Okay, I'm back. ROM hacker have trouble beating a wizard in his own ROM hack? To be fair, I did not make the wizard, though. I only used him. We have Kamek at home. Gino and Kamek for Smash 6. So, honest question. Who do you think people would be angrier about getting into Super Smash Bros.? Malo or Gino? I think at this point so many people have talked about Gino that if Malo got in, it would be like the ultimate bait and switch. Yeah, Wario Land, I'm with you. It's the thought peak, everything makes it pretty clear that this is supposed to be Kamek. Everyone would be mad about Mahler. Good old Mailer. My favorite fluff ball. Snowy Zorua, thanks for coming in. Good to see you again. They should just replace everybody in Smash Bros. With Fire Emblem characters. I mean, that makes sense to me. Eliwood and Hector win. If they gave us Malo, but not Gino. We have Gino at home. How many more maple syrups do I have? Okay, 4. I thought I had less for some reason. Uh-oh. Bro, calm down. I mean, Fire Emblem is up to what? Like 17 entries, I think? They need at least one for every entry. It's the only thing that makes sense. Jeez, man. That's a lot of damage. Yeah, at the end of the day, if they included any Super Mario RPG OC character in Super Smash Bros., I would love it. I would be happy. Okay, I'd like to kill him before he summons something else. Oh, cool. Good timing. Jinx would actually not be a terrible idea. He's an actual fighting character. Twitch restream by any chance? I do not stream on Twitch. I thought about it at one point. I just never did it. Yeah, I mean, for what I do with my channel, I do stuff, like, I make other videos too. Like, I don't just do live stuff. So, it never really made sense to do Twitch, I guess. Because, you know, the goal of having somebody watch the live stream is that you check out the other stuff on my channel. And Twitch isn't really conducive to that. So, I don't know. At the end of the day, I never really saw the point of doing Twitch for this channel, specifically. Booster for Smash Brothers. Yeah, he's basically just reskinned Wario. Booster is the Piranha Plant character. You know, he's the guy that nobody expected to get in, but he got in somehow, and we're all just confused by it. Yeah, like I said, I've never actually tried streaming on Twitch, but from what I hear, Twitch has terrible discoverability for new people. Like, the only way I would be successful on Twitch is if I specifically told you guys, hey, I'm gonna stream on Twitch, go there now, instead of here. So for someone who's just doing Twitch out of the blue, cold turkey, you're probably not gonna get much luck. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I'm not sure there's really much point in me doing Twitch. I was going to at one point, it just never really panned out, I guess. Exactly, YouTube makes more sense because I do things that aren't live. So, this is this is my home, I guess. Apparently I did not time that. Twitch is dying, you think? Choose your poison. YouTube is flooded with slop. Yeah, it can be hard to find good channels, even on YouTube these days. But, I don't know. The problem is none of the alternatives to YouTube have really gotten any better. There's not much point to them. Missed timing, washed. Yeah, that's me. I could time like 100 super jumps 7 or 8 times during that Wario or Waluigi RPG I was playing, but now I can't even time, shocker. Easiest sub ever. Thank you, Bubbler. Appreciate that. Glad you're here. Chained Kong, next Smash character. I could have sworn he was already, but maybe I'm thinking of someone else. What is the other thing that people were moving to? You know, the fact that I can't even remember the names of the other sites is not a great sign, but I know there have been some YouTube clone type websites that have popped up, but they've all come and gone. There might be some that are still around, but it's just, you know, from what I've heard from people, it's you go on those sites and you think, what am I doing here? There's nothing here that YouTube isn't doing better already, unfortunately. Good old AI slop. Oh yeah, Daily Motion. Remember when Daily Motion was a thing? Yeah, if there's one thing I've learned about YouTube nowadays with AI content and all this crap, it's I never let my kid watch YouTube unsupervised. It's just not a good idea. Like some of the garbage that they have on there, it's nuts. Yeah, Nebula. If you're charging money for something that YouTube does for free, you can't really expect it to get much traction. YouTube's whole draw is that it's free. I mean, you pay in ads, but you know what I mean. Bubbler, you wish you were good enough to take this on? You could take it on. I mean, these are all original, or vanilla enemies with vanilla stats. You just gotta practice a little bit. I'm sure you'd get it. Did Thunderbolt do anything to these guys? No. Nice. MVP. Don't you want them to develop a dopamine addiction to Cocomelon? Ugh. I hate Cocomelon. Okay, so my wife is a really smart person. She has her PhD in clinical psychology. So she knows about stuff like childhood development, and she said that Cocomelon is one of the worst things she's ever seen. Like, they change scenes every, like, 2 or 3 seconds, and that is absolutely horrendous for a child's development. But does she know about timed hits? You know, we're still working on that one, but I appreciate you asking. Neopets. Man, those were the days. Shocker, probably? Hey, Frogs, thanks for coming in. Thanks for the well wishes. I'm sorry, Drunk Ship. That's just, it's funny to hear you say that with your username being Drunk Ship. It's just, yeah, there's this guy that comes into my streams, and he claims to be drunk every time he's here. He's also the world's foremost authority on childhood psychology. Yeah, the shows that were on when we were kids were terrifying, but at least they weren't completely bad for our development. Yeah, I know, song title, but still, I just think it's funny. Yeah, I try to make my kid watch 90s cartoons. She does like Pokemon, so she has hope. Yeah, Zap, we've got my kid trying a few different sports just to kind of see what she likes. But yeah, next time she scores a goal in soccer or something, better watch out. She knows about timed hits. Caillou. We don't talk about Caillou. Has she chosen a starter yet? I don't know if she has, because she's flip-flopped back and forth a lot. The first Pokemon, well, and only Pokemon game she's ever played is Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. So technically, yes, she has chosen a starter, and it's Eevee. Chess Scholar, every single one of those shows was a banger. Except Roly Poly Oly, I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't know what that is. But Ed and Nettie was a masterpiece. According to YouTube, the current viewer count is 69. Nice. Rocco's Modern Life, another classic. Yeah, you don't get the fun chandelier ride in this hack. Sorry, guys. Well, we know what boss comes right after Boomer, right? Yeah, Exor has an enormous sprite that you can't really fit anywhere, so this is Exor. Sorry, guys. Okay. I have Gino on my team for a reason, so our most important step right now is just staying alive. Am I going to Ultra Jump Exor? Another reference, I understand, but no. Yeah, FLG, is your wife an Eevee fan? I know the different parts are weak against different things, so let's just keep going until we knock something out here. Blue's Clues. Blue's Clues was a great show. So there's a new version of Blue's Clues. It's a, I mean, they've changed the people a couple times now, but I don't know. The new Blue's Clues guy, I feel like it's different enough while still being true to the source material, which is fine. I think it works well enough. Muku Muku just appearing in the clouds. She said yes. Hi, FLG's wife. Exor stops you from visiting Logic Gate. Okay, I think I've heard that before, but like that's probably not intentional. It's funny, but I don't think it's intentional. I just gotta knock out one of these things. Wrong one. Man, all of these TV shows you guys are naming. Just a trip down memory lane here. Let's keep ourselves healed here. 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I appreciate you guys sticking it out into the wee hours of the morning here. Probably gonna wrap things up after this fight, though. Nagi boy, thanks for coming in. So far, so good. I haven't gotten a game over yet, so I'll consider that a win. Geno World's 8. That's all I need to get past this. That's right, tomorrow's Sunday. You got nowhere to be, right? MTV used to actually play music at one point, if you can believe it. Alright, Geno, I just need you to live so that you can whirl this guy. There we go. Yeah, that happens to the eyes. Don't worry too much about that. Punky Brewster. Nice. Alright, 2 battle rooms to go. Let's go do some shopping. Get your fill of Milo and Genos. Only on this channel will you find a healthy dose of Mahler. Eureka's Castle. Ah, the classics. Okay, let's buy some more stuff. Now that we've beaten the Bowser's Keep enemies, we're getting into the gate enemies. We got an attack plus. We should probably use that. I don't know if there's really anybody we need to poison that much at this point. Maybe we can get rid of these. I don't think we're doing anything with these. We'll keep one just in case. Isn't there a song that mentions when music videos used to be on MTV? Yeah, that's the song 1985. Okay, we have... How much money do we have? 286. So, again, not enough to buy anything, like, super fancy. But attack plus... I guess we just keep the Bowser train rolling on that one. And we have a ton of frog coins. The stat boosters are nice, but at this point in the game, stuff like red essences might be better, honestly. Well, I guess we could just hoard them like a dragon until we get through this next battle room. but it's right about midnight here where I'm at, so I think it's time to call it for this stream. So thanks for coming in, everybody. We've had a pretty decent turnout tonight. I've got over 70 people watching right now, which is way more than I've ever had before. So if you will indulge me in monologuing for a minute. This is my first stream of the new year, so being here in the new year, I know that the holidays are supposed to be a break from real life, a chance to take a break, sort of reset before the new year all starts over again. It's supposed to be a time that you spend with friends and family, but I know for a lot of people, the holidays aren't that. Not everyone gets a break, not everyone gets to spend that time with loved ones, and sometimes the holidays can be a reminder of the things that you don't have. But as we come into this new year, I want to thank all of you for watching, sticking around, hanging out in this live stream and such. I've been doing this for a little over a year and a half now, and it's been a lot of fun. I know some of you are regulars every week, some of you make it when you can. I know I stream pretty late, and some of you have showed up a couple times and disappeared, and I know that even more of you out there are silent watchers, whether it's live or watching the VOD later. But I want you to know I'm grateful for all of you in whatever shape or form that you show up for these things, and I hope I can be a source of joy and entertainment in your life in these weeks to come. And I hope you guys feel that sense of friendliness and camaraderie being here, both with me and with each other. So, the new year gives us an arbitrary date to reflect on our lives, to think about where we are, where we want to be, and that sort of thing. And I really hope that 2026 is your year. And I hope that I can be a small part of that with you. But that's all I've got for you for tonight. Again, I appreciate you guys being here, and I hope you'll continue to be here in the weeks to come. So, thanks for watching. Have a good night.